Hey everyone, and welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So we have some huge changes ahead of us for the year ahead in 2024, one of which is going to include a cost of living adjustment increase next year. Of course, there are going to be some deductions such as the Medicare Part B premium. Now we are going to know what the increase is going to be on Thursday this week, October 12th. Then, of course, we're going to find out what the Medicare Part B premium is, probably at some point in November. But other than that change, other than the cost of living adjustment increase for all Social Security beneficiaries, there are also going to be some other changes that we'll definitely have to keep in mind as well. And then some other possible changes on top of that in the year ahead in 2024, which we are also going to cover as well. So jumping right into this, we have an article from the Motley Fool. It's 5 major Social Security changes that retirees can expect in 2024. This, of course, is also going to include SSI and SSDI beneficiaries. So the first one on the list is that workers will need to earn more money to qualify for Social Security. So workers must earn 40 credits to be fully insured under the Social Security program. Anyone who lacks the requisite number of credits cannot receive retirement benefits, nor can their family receive spousal benefits or survivor's benefits. Credits are earned by working and paying Social Security taxes. No more than 4 credits can be earned per year, and the income amount required to earn a single credit changes annually based on general wage levels. The income threshold is $1,640 in 2023, up from $1,510 in 2022. The threshold will increase again in 2024, meaning workers will need to earn a little more money to qualify for Social Security. And more than likely, this number is going to go up another 3 to 3.2%, just based on that COLA number. Now, the second change we can expect for the year ahead, of course, is that beneficiaries will get a cost of living adjustment. So Social Security benefits get an annual cost of living adjustment to help retired workers and other recipients keep up with rising prices across the economy. The COLA for 2024 cannot be finalized without September inflation data, but the Senior Citizens League expects benefit payments to increase by 3.2% next year. So again, we are going to have this number released in 2 days on Thursday of this week. That's going to be October 12th. That's where we're going to have the final numbers. And then at that point, we're going to know exactly how much the cost of living adjustment is going to be, which means increased payments for retirees. It means increased payments for SSI beneficiaries. And it also means increased payments for VA as well as SSDI. So we can look at the chart here up on the screen, and we can see that for retired workers, the average benefit in August of 2023 is $1,840. And then, of course, next year, starting in January, that is going to get boosted up to close to $1,900. As far as spouses go, the average payment this year is $889. With that 3.2% adjustment, that's going to be boosted up to almost $920. Then we have survivors and disabled workers. So for the average benefit, as far as monthly benefits go, for survivors, that is $1,454 this year. With the 3.2% adjustment, we can expect that to be lifted up to right around $1,500. And then as far as disabled workers go, on average, this year, on a monthly basis, they're receiving right around $1,486. With a 3.2% jump from the COLA, we can expect that number to be lifted up to $1,534. So across the board, not as big of a benefit increase as we saw last year, as last year was 8.7%. That was the highest increase in 40 years, believe it or not. This year is just 3.2%, so inflation prices are still going up, but they're not going up at as fast of a pace. Now, a lot of people can argue that inflation has actually been higher than 3.2%, and therefore we should actually have a higher increase than 3.2%. I tend to agree with that, as the government can definitely rig these numbers to make it seem like inflation isn't going up as much as it really is. So obviously they're going to throw in different categories and weigh them differently to make it seem like it's not as bad. So inflation might really be like 8 to 10%, even though they're only putting out these numbers as 3.2%. I definitely agree with that. So, but at least an increase is an increase. It is certainly better than nothing at all. Now, the third change we can expect to see next year in 2024 is that some workers will owe Social Security tax on more income. So Social Security is primarily financed through a payroll tax, but the amount of income subject to taxation is limited under current law. The taxable maximum is modified each year to account for changes in the National Average Wage Index. It increased to $160,200 in 2023, up from $147,000 in 2022. The Social Security Board of Trustees expects the taxable maximum to reach $167,700 in 2024, but the Social Security Administration will publish the official figure on October 12th. So that's basically the amount of money that you have to pay on your wages into the Social Security Trust Fund. For employees, that's going to be 6.2%. And then if you're self-employed, you pay the full 12.4%. Whereas if you're an employee, your employer, your boss matches the other 6.2%. Now, the fourth change we can expect to see next year in 2024 is that the maximum Social Security benefit at full retirement age will increase. So the Social Security benefits formula is revised annually to ensure benefit awards keep pace with national wage levels. As a result, the maximum Social Security benefit at the full retirement age tends to increase each year, and it has risen at roughly 3.6% annually over the last decade. If next year aligns with the average, the maximum retired worker benefit at FRA will increase from $3,627 per month in 2023 to $3,758 per month in 2024. Of course, that is if you retire at the full retirement age, which is either 66, 67, or somewhere in between. Obviously, if you can wait all the way until the age of 70, you're going to be receiving even more than this amount, well over $4,000 every single month. Now, the last change we can expect to see in 2024 before we get into another bill that could also, potentially see huge changes within the Social Security program is the fact that early claimers will be able to earn more income before benefits are withheld. So workers who start Social Security before FRA and continue working will have part of their benefit temporarily withheld if their income exceeds certain limits. Those limits are referred to as the retirement earnings test exempt amounts. The current limits are detailed below. So the lower limit is $21,240. This figure applies to workers under FRA for the entire year. $1 in Social Security benefits is withheld for every $2 in earnings that exceed $21,240. And then the upper limit is $56,520, and this figure applies to workers reaching FRA during the year. And in that case, $1 in Social Security benefits is withheld for every $3 in earnings that exceed $56,520. So those are the 5 changes that we're definitely going to be happening next year in 2024 without a doubt. It just matters what it's really going to come down to, of course, is the COLA, whether it's 2.8, 3 or 3.2% or somewhere in between. But of course, another change we can also see next year in 2024, this one is not finalized, although there is a very strong chance this bill ends up passing just because it has a lot of bipartisan support, and if they were to vote on it today, more than likely it would definitely get the votes. It's just a matter of this bill hitting the floor, and for it to reach a vote is a bipartisan bill, once again, in both the House and the Senate. So according to Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger's page, Spanberger Graves hosts press conference on momentum for the bipartisan bill to eliminate the WEP and GPO, provide long overdue fairness to public servants. So they say here that the bill now has 290 co-sponsors in the House, which would eliminate the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset. So 290 co-sponsors, if all 290 co-sponsors voted in favor of this bill, it would easily pass the House, and I almost guarantee they would have at least 60 votes in the Senate with that said. And the Social Security Fairness Act, which has the third most co-sponsors of any bill currently introduced in the U.S. House, would repeal both the WEP and GPO, 2 provisions of the Social Security Act that unfairly reduce or eliminate Social Security benefits for millions of Americans who had devoted much of their careers to public service, including police officers, firefighters, federal employees, and educators. Spanberger and Graves reintroduced the bipartisan legislation in January 2023 at the start of the 118th Congress. So if they were to vote on this bill, it would definitely pass. It just comes down to whether or not they're ever going to introduce the bill, vote on it, and actually pass this bill to Biden's desk to be signed into law. Now, on top of that, of course, there are other possible changes coming up in 2024. If they do something about the Social Security insolvency issue, which again in 2033, if nothing is done, there's going to be automatic cuts across the board for everyone of anywhere between 20 to 25%. Some of the things that are being talked about possibly is raising the full retirement age from 67 to 69 or 70. This would more than likely be to those people currently age 40 and younger, people who are at the full retirement age or close to it, they would more than likely not have any changes. Now, on top of that, they may also increase the taxable earnings, so anyone earning above $250,000 or $400,000 per year may have to pay into the Social Security Trust Fund that 6.2 to 12.4% payroll tax. And then they may also lift the amount of taxes you have to pay in. So right now, if you're an employee, you're paying 6.2% into the trust fund. If you're self-employed, you pay 12.4%, the full amount. They may lift that by around another 0.2 percentage points. That way more money comes into the trust fund. But all in all, there are a lot of different ideas out there. It just comes down to, again, if they're ever going to put these ideas on the floor in a bill for a vote, to have a chance whatsoever passing the House and the Senate and making sure that the Social Security Trust Fund is going to be shored up, that we can continue this program for decades to come. But that's all we have for today's video. Certainly hope that you enjoyed and found value out of it. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate if you could give this video a like, consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you in the next video.